Hello again, everyone. I hope you enjoyed, or at least were able to stomach, my last video that I called Why Madden 24 Was Actually Good. The guy that made that video, he must have been my alter ego or something, because this debate isn't even a debate, and how some guy named Kago could put out a ridiculously pandering video about how quote-unquote good Madden was makes me want to unsubscribe from him, and he is me. Anyway, honestly, seriously, you guys, even though I really did enjoy Madden overall this year, I have to admit that making that video was not as natural and easy flowing as it was making this video. Madden has a long way to go, you guys, and the fact that I had to even change the name of my last video to use the word good versus the word great says a lot. And by the way, the video you're watching is me beating Madden on all Madden solo battle using only 3 plays out of I-form slot, only one of which was a passing play. Anyway, let's get into why Madden 24 actually sucked this year. First off, let's talk about blocking. Was blocking improved this year? Well, yeah, but when you set the bar so low that your eyes light up and you want to celebrate because a tackle actually blocked a defensive end on a run play, you know you've been hoodwinked. When you set the bar so low that when your offensive line actually picked up a 3-man rush for at least a few seconds, and that makes you giddy like a child on candy day or something, you know your audience has been starving and been neglected. EA has had the worst blocking imaginable for years now, and it didn't really get that much better this year. The worst part here is that abilities actually seem to make the linemen play fairly well, or kinda normal. And this goes for zones as well. So when we see abilities make linemen block the way that they're actually supposed to, and zones play how they're intended, you know EA has the ability to make what should be standard, standard. This year they chose not to do that, and it's been obvious to every single one of us. RPOs. Let's just say that RPOs have basically dumbed down the entire game this year. I mean, seriously, I have never seen pro players rage so hard just because of a simple play like RPOs. How many times have all of us cribbed, or at the very least gotten huge gains that we know deep down in the bottom of our hearts we shouldn't have gotten because of the overpowered nature of RPOs? It's literally broken the game, and we all know it. In trouble? RPO. Guys playing great defense? RPO. Guy even tries everything to stop an RPO? RPO, and bust a huge gain. Screw you. I'm not even gonna say any more about this. An entire season and EA couldn't even fix this. Just ridiculous. Route glitches. This one is obvious and was never fixed fully, despite their claims that it was all taken care of. But that slant route glitch has been just ridiculous. How can EA take the slant, one of the oldest and most effective routes in the game, and destroy it with this random crap of just stopping in the middle of the route? It's literally just pure ridiculousness, and even negligence on EA's part, in my opinion. And it's ruined so many possible route combinations and plays because nobody could really count on a slant actually being a slant. Just unacceptable. And speaking of the routes, what about route bumping? Gee, Manetly, you guys, the bumping of players has been just ridiculous this year. It's just horrible. There's never been a Madden where players bump like they have this season, especially the receivers. Just horrible collision coding. You can't even count on routes to be where they're supposed to be. And so all of the offenses that we had to set up this year that were meta, they were focused on not just the route spacing related to the coverage, but route spacing to eliminate these crazy bumps. We literally had to game plan against the 12th defender this year, and that's EA coding. And EA coding, to make routes get open, or at least give them a chance, we have to gameplay for you? I mean, it's just super annoying, and again, it's unacceptable, EA. Let's talk about the fatigue glitch. This glitch nearly ruined the game. When EA decided mid-season to implement this sort of quote-unquote pass rusher fatigue system, they literally broke the game. How EA screwed this up is beyond me, but it forced franchise players to turn off fatigue, and EA had to turn off fatigue in MUT, which made things even worse. Again, it's that band-aid, you fix one thing and you break two things, EA. I just don't get it. I mean, how do you not test this? How does EA not have the staff, or at least a small stable of Madden pros and YouTubers available for beta testing these types of changes? This quote-unquote idea was probably actually pretty sound, but you don't put ideas into a game mid-season, especially when you have a game where people are paying significant amounts of money, like with MUT. You just don't do it. Save that crap for next season, or have your staff or your contractors beta test the crap out of that. I mean, it's just buffoonery. Let's talk about jukes. So spins do nothing, and one juke fakes out 11 players, 5 defensive coaches, and 40 fans? It's just effing stupid. I mean, sure, we need runners to have moves, but to make the spin move be more of a give up and the juke move more overpowered than a cheat code sometimes? Why the hell can't you literally just sit at a console for a few hours, EA, and play your own dang game and see that the juke is too overpowered and other runner movements are a detriment? I mean, this has gone on for so many dang years, it's ridiculous. Find a damn balance where jukes, spins, stiff arms, etc. actually work functionally and in a balanced way. I get angry just talking about this stuff. Maybe I need to check my blood pressure after making this video, because I swear to you, my blood is boiling just talking about some of this stuff. And speaking about blood boiling, oh my God, menus. This may be my biggest beef with Madden this year. One of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in a video game. This menu system that they devised, clearly it's a band-aid, and I do have a theory or two about this, but it's just poor coding at the very least. A menu and a click should be instant. No other video game I've ever played has had this issue. These long loading menus literally made franchise completely unenjoyable for me. I'm a guy who likes to make fast roster and coaching adjustments, and the thought of having to back out of one section and wait forever to load up another section, when you add up the time spent in game that's extra because of these menu loading waits, it starts to compile heavily in the wrong direction, to say the least. I have two theories on this. One is that the extra loading times keeps players in game longer than they actually are, right? Think about it. If those slow loading menus make up an extra 3 to 5 minutes out of every hour of gameplay, and you add that time to all of the users who are playing Madden, you get probably 6 to 10 or even extra more minutes that you can use to pad your sort of, I guess, your analytics or whatever. I would be 100% convinced of this if it weren't for EA's complete coding incompetence that they demonstrate time after time. Never chalk something up to genius when the odds are it's because of incompetence, right? I mean, the other theory I have is that, at least in franchise, that they were still using old menu systems but loading the new menus over old ones. And that, I think, is what was causing a lot of menu lag in franchise. I don't really even know with all the menu lag in the other areas of the game. But anyway, I really need to start taking high blood pressure meds after I make this video, because if I keep going, I won't stop talking about this. Hot Route Master. So, you're a regs player. So, you want to play a regular team and see how you can make them stack up against someone else? So, you want to be able to audible to a simple route, right? Well, EA's got your back, but only if you're a Chiefs fan. Because in regs, there's only one quarterback who has Hot Route Master, and that's Patrick Mahomes. How the hell can EA literally ruin an entire mode for most players? I'm not really sure, but they're really good at it. No HRM for anyone who doesn't use the Chiefs? I mean, come on. Hot Route Master is the biggest BS quote-unquote ability anyway. It's just stupid, and it's a way for them to make more money in MUT. There is not a single Hot Route Master route that any fourth string quarterback in the NFL wouldn't be able to call in real life. They're just basic routes. Posts, corners, come on. But EA wants you to, they just want to put a paywall in for that. And in doing so, they alienated an entire group of people who love to play regs. Just ridiculous and unacceptable. MUT content. While there was no shortage of content for MUT this year, there were two really major gripes that a lot of people had this year. The first one being staleness. There simply wasn't a big enough player pool this season, at least as I think that there had been previously. Some players got like 8, 9, 10 cards, maybe even more. And some of the older versions were actually better than their newer counterparts. To me, this is what really sucked about Madden. Also, some players didn't even get into the game until later in the year, like Culpepper, for instance. By the time he got in the game, and he's always been a favorite of mine in MUT, he was useless. Speaking of useless, how about the rush of limited cards every single freaking week? I mean, come on, EA. Cards simply cost too much this season, period. But this sort of limited BS was just over the top this year. Cards that you needed or wanted for your team, just most people priced out of the market. I don't even really want to get into it, to be honest, because it just speaks for itself. If EA continues down this path, I'm telling you, they're going to see a serious revenue drop-off. Let me give you an example of my strategy. I was very smart with buying packs earlier in this year. I made sure I got a lot of coins for each purchase that I made, and I had about 16 million in the bank by Halloween, and I figured that would be plenty for the rest of the season. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I really thought I had figured out the system, right? But I had no clue how dreadfully wrong that I would be at the time, right? 16 million was indeed not enough for me. And I think that speaks volumes about just how much EA has stacked the house against its paying customers. It was so bad that I will not spend another penny on MUT ever again, period. And they had a golden goose in a guy like me. No more. Cards selling for 8 million, limiteds dominating the game and taking cash. And believe me, I never even fell for the limited scam. I just eliminated them from my mind. But anyway. Also, this theme team crap got ridiculous. Let's take the Super Bowl and playoffs theme teams. Honestly, I wish I had just stuck with my Super Bowl theme team because they're every bit as good as my team is now. I had 99 speeds everywhere, all the abilities I needed, and that was what, January? The only benefit I've seen to anything after the Zero Chill, playoffs, and Super Bowl theme teams is being able to have abilities on your offensive linemen. And I didn't even move to a true theme team until probably April. And I gotta say, I honestly think they should just eliminate theme teams at this point. These speed boosts are honestly, at least I believe, costing EA money because if a card comes out and I can't speed boost him, I just can't use him. Or at least I know there are better options. It's just a ridiculous year of MUT that could have been awesome because the huge amount of content they put out was actually pretty decent. I mean, they can't even get players correct, though. I mean, think about that. Putting players on the wrong team or players in the wrong position. You know, I mean, come on. This year was so bad they lost a golden goose like me to MUT forever. No more extra money from me, EA. No way after this season. Throwing motions. This one really irks me. Let's face it, if you don't have traditional 4 as your release in MUT, you dang well know it. I have tried to convince myself that other releases were fine, but after 3 or 4 games, I always gave up and went back to a quarterback with traditional 4. To me, it's just unacceptable. I can see having a few releases that are maybe long winding for certain types of throws or whatever, because, you know, some of these quarterbacks actually do struggle with getting the ball out in a timely fashion, right? But if you don't have traditional 4, you're just so limited with the quarterbacks that we're willing to keep. And honestly, it has to cost EA money in doing so. They need to fix these throwing motions so there's not really a penalty except for just a few of them. Okay, let's talk about zones. Okay, we're going to talk about zones and abilities to round this video out. Madden, we see through you. If you have deep, mid, and flat zone KO abilities on a player, you know what he does? You guys are not going to believe this, so please sit down and hold on to your chair. You want to know what it does when you have those abilities? It makes your player play zones the way they're supposed to be played. I mean, it's like a true Festivus miracle. Imagine a defender actually playing a cloud flat properly. Why the hell would Madden make zones function properly only with abilities? They're literally letting us know in no uncertain terms that they can program a game where the zones play properly, but they're gonna make you have to have abilities to do so? It's seriously just freaking BS, you guys. There is no reason we should have to set flats to 30 and cloud flats to 0 or 5. I'm just so fed up with this type of BS, and it really makes the game, honestly, just less fun to play. Workarounds to get players to play within their assigned roles when EA shows us every day that they can do it properly? I swear these developers have a sadistic side to them, and sometimes I feel like they watch YouTube videos at night with popcorn and literally cackle as they listen to people raging and breaking controllers because a flat zone didn't even play in the flat. And the abilities. This irks me too. I know the abilities are here to stay, but it's just gotten out of hand. I honestly would prefer if cards just had baked on abilities like Pick Artist, and that was it. Wait, speaking of Pick Artist, what a ridiculous ability. You can hardly get an interception without Pick Artist. You can hardly catch passes without gift wrap. Flat passes? Drags? Get the hell out of here. Linebackers can't animate without Lurk Artist? EA, this has gone too far. I have no issues if players intercept the ball regularly, play their zones regularly, and adding an ability that makes them do it a little bit better. I have no problem with that. It makes sense to me, and I can be on board with it. But to have to use an ability to hot route? I mean, to catch passes and interceptions? To literally animate? Come the hell on, EA. You guys, with this video, I feel like I could keep going on and on and on. What about the rollout glitching? What about rollout glitching causing zones to become man blitzers? Vanguard? Bo Jackson and his 220-pound self leveling players blocking downfield? Oh my God. I really am going to have to go to the doctor after this and get my blood pressure checked. I've never had any problems with blood pressure either, you guys. This game just makes a person's blood boil. So, I don't know, I think I've covered at least some of the reasons why Madden 24 just kind of sucked this year, again. EA really needs to do something with Madden 25, because if it's as broken as this supposedly fixed version of Madden was this year, they might just lose even more legacy players. And I'm telling you guys, a lot of YouTubers I've seen who do this for a living have been experimenting with trying to move to other games. That is not a good sign, EA. Get your act together this season, you guys. Just get it together. We all really want to love this game. Just give us a reason. Give us an excuse. Please. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, thanks for all the support lately. Be on the lookout for the next video. And as always, have a great day.